And you know the sun's sitting fast, just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Now I sit on the porch, watch lightning bugs fly. I can't see too good, I got tears in my eyes. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I don't want to go. I love you, my town, you'll always live in my soul. And you know the sun's sitting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include Lions Family Resident Council Bus Telethon, a tremendous success. Snack Program Appreciation Social, the Council Report. These stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
Why do you volunteer?
Just knowing that I'm able to come in and they're happy to see me, and just as happy to see me as I am to see them.
It does my heart good to bring happiness to somebody else's life, and that makes my day when I see a smile.
Well, it's a great deal of personal satisfaction knowing that you are helping somebody.
Make a difference in your community.
The Lions Family Resident Council Bus Telethon was a tremendous success. On Sunday, April the 18th, the Family Resident Council and the Burgeo Lions organized and hosted a telethon in an effort to raise money for a new seniors bus. One of the organizers, Jim Marsden, was overwhelmed with the response the telethon received. Jim told us on telethon day that if they raised $5,000 or $6,000, he and the others would be very pleased. You can imagine the excitement when they realized that the final total was $20,740 was raised in just 4 short hours. This telethon would not have been possible without the generous support of all those who made pledges from Burgeo, Ramia, Francois, Grey River, and many other places outside of Burgeo and all across Canada. It just goes to show when we work together for a common goal, great things can happen. Most of you watched the telethon on Community Channel 10 and only got to see what was in front of the camera. Behind the scenes was a beehive of activity. One of our BBS volunteers took a few shots of those who worked hard to make this telethon a great success. We had 4 different people on the phones each hour. That's a total of 16 people. They were extremely busy taking your pledges. Then there were those who were taking money from individuals who wanted to pay their pledge, wanted bingo cards, and those who were recording all the pledges. Let's not forget those who were keeping our host, Calvin Parsons, informed of what was coming up next, and those who were keeping the entertainers on cue. We congratulate our MHA, Calvin Parsons, for hosting the event. He did a marvelous job. Now that the telethon is over, collecting the pledges was the next order of business. If you haven't honored your pledge yet, please consider doing so as soon as possible. You may drop it off at the BBS office during regular business hours. We extend thanks to those who have already paid their pledge, those who answered the phones, the entertainers, the BBS volunteers, businesses who donated prizes for the draws, and those who helped make the telethon run very smooth. Without all these individuals, the telethon would not have been the success it was. Members of the Burgeo Academy snack program were honored on Wednesday of this week. The Community Youth Network and the Communities in Schools hosted this appreciation social for the volunteers of the Burgeo Academy snack program. CIS Coordinator June Anderson welcomed everyone to the social and thanked them for volunteering with the snack program. The fun began with some games. There was parcel grab, name bingo, and a guessing game. The winners of these games won some very nice prizes which were generously donated by businesses around town. What would a social be without a lunch? All this wonderful food was provided by the CYN and CIS members. The complete pork chop dinner door prize was won by Paula Benoit. Doreen Benoit, principal of the school, thanked all the snack program volunteers. She went on to say that the snack program was one of the most successful programs at the school and a program that the students enjoyed and took advantage of the most. She presented the snack club with a certificate of appreciation. The CYN and the CIS also presented each member of the snack club with a certificate and a small token of their appreciation. June Anderson, CIS coordinator, had a ticket draw for the Full Belly Food Apr, which was sponsored by the school snack club in an effort to raise funds for the snack program. The winner was Krista Standing. We wish the snack club continued success with their snack program at the school. Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening. Burgeo Town Council, we held our regular council meeting on Wednesday, April the 21st. We had 6 members in attendance. Of course, we start off with the same one, the water treatment plant, and all I'm really going to have to say there is that the people are still here from Montreal. The debugging of the system continues, and until that's completed and we get word from them that this is as far as they can take things, well, then the town council, there's not much involvement for us. So therefore, just bear with it. The debugging is continuing, and hopefully in the end things will work out. There is one thing that we had some discussion on with regard to water pressure. And as you know, some time ago when the system was being designed, I reported to you that after it's been done that you could expect an increase in your water pressure. Now, we haven't increased the pressure as yet. You should have the same pressures you've always had. However, it is the intention of council somewhere down the road that we will be increasing the pressure. Now, as you can very well see, that when we increase the pressure, the people on the lower levels, I'll say the people at sea level, they'll experience an increase in pressure along with the people at the R levels. We can't increase it for one person and not increase it for the other person. So with that in mind, you know, we could have people down at the lower levels that may go to 60 or 60 plus pounds per square inch. So, and that will be in order to get the people at the upper levels up to maybe 40 pounds or somewhere along that line. So therefore, I just caution people now that if your plumbing is a little bit rough and so on and you don't trust it, it's probably time to start doing what you've been considering doing with regard to changing the plumbing in your house. You know, it doesn't seem right that people at the upper level, they've got no control. You know, their pressure is what it is, and unless we increase it, well, they can't bring it up any higher. However, for people at the lower levels, if we should increase the pressure and it becomes an unacceptable level, that is, it's too high at for the people at the lower levels, there is a device called a pressure reducing valve which you can get and put on your main line to bring your pressure down. But in any event, when the time do come around that the council is going to start increasing the water pressure, there will be notification put on the channel 10. There will be some lead time there, a date will be set for it, and you'll be well informed in advance of the time when the time comes to increase the pressure. Town manager advised us that the application has been made to the government, to the capital works and the infrastructure program requesting funding to get into the freezing water lines to try to address the water problem we got there. We also received a letter. You remember some time ago, you were advised that I had written the Kathy Dunderdale, the Minister of Development, with regard to this rural secretariat. Well, we did receive a letter from Ms. Dunderdale, and in it she advised that there would be an office when this secretariat has been fully set up. There will not only be an office in St. John's, there will be one in Corner Brook, so therefore that will be more accessible to us. And she also advised that the town of Burgeo will be a valued participant in this ongoing process. I look forward to meeting with you when my schedule permits for a full discussion of the Rural Secretariat and its implication for the future of rural Newfoundland and Labrador. So therefore, we're sort of looking forward to that, as that will probably be a sounding board in some ways for rural towns to just get their message out to the government and what they're going through. We had a request for some swings for this little mini playground which has been put up at the ball field for the tots and the toddlers and so on, up watching the games. You remember last year there was the softball league put a little playground up there, and they requested some swings. However, we were in a bit of a bind there because their request comes a bit late, and this year all of the money that we had budgeted for recreation has been put into the main playground. However, in the opinion of council, there was a surplus of swings up at the mini playground in Messers, so therefore one of the swings there will be taken out, and hopefully it will be suitable to take care of the needs up at that little playground that they've got up by the softball pitch. The town manager presented the council with a list of maintenance work that will be done during the summer. If there's an item in your area which you'd like to check on and see if that's being done, you could check with the manager, but you know, there's quite a bit of maintenance work to be done with regard to broken pavement, shoulders of the roads, and so on and so forth. Council, we just touched on the subject. I'm sure most of you know that some more equipment was removed from the fish plant this week. Council have taken a position that, you know, they're not trying to prevent the company from removing their equipment from the plant. It doesn't seem to make much sense to hang on to equipment. You know, you've got to have an operator. The operator just doesn't seem to be interested in doing anything at the plant, and to be quite honest with you, there doesn't seem to be anyone else interested. So you know, it's council's position that, you know, if the operator wants to take his equipment and go, well, take his equipment and go. It's too bad, but that's it. It's too bad we can't interest the operator, the owner of the plant, to do something in Burgeo, but they're just not interested, as it seems to be. Last week, I omitted to advise of the new business which is opening up in Burgeo. It's Coley's Just For You Creations, which is opening up at the bottom of the mini mart up there, the Sears building. So I would like to extend to Ms. Coley, on behalf of the Burgeo Town Council, our best wishes for a successful business. It's good to see business opening up in Burgeo. And that was about it from council. We gave approval for the payment of invoices in the amount of $23,632.88. But before I do go, I'd just like to say that again, the running of your water taps, I ask you to please shut them off on April the 15th. I know the weather is not that warm, but I can guarantee you there's nothing going to freeze. And to just give you some idea, on April the 11th, I picked this up from Mr. Meade before I came here. On April the 11th, we were putting through 711 gallons per minute. And this morning, Friday morning, April the 23rd, I think it is, we're down to 505 gallons per minute. So, you know, I would encourage any of you now, you know, make a concerted effort after you hear me this evening and go shut off that tap you're running. There's no need of it, and really we'd like to get on with the job of flushing out the lines, adjusting pressures and one thing or the other, and we'd like to do it when not just about every Tom, Dick, and Harry is running a water tap. The jump which we've seen, the drop which we've seen also indicates that even though we had 151 people report that they were running their taps, we've got a feeling that that number is a bit low. In fact, it's considerably lower. There's more than 150 that's running their water taps. So I would ask you, do yourself a favor and do everybody else one, and shut off that tap that you're running. Thank you and good evening.
Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Why do you volunteer?
Something nice to do, like you get rewards from yourself, just knowing that you're helping out these people.
I just love helping people. I think I always have, because the way my mother and father raised me, I guess.
I really, really enjoy it. And when I come in the mornings, they're very excited to see me, you know.
Make a difference in your community.
Volunteer Appreciation Week was from April the 18th to the 24th. For just a minute, think about all the groups and organizations around town. How many can you think of that are very active in volunteer work? Begin at the school. There is a school snack program, sports coaches, school board members, public library story hour volunteers, Sea Cadets, and Burgeo Bears. Now move out into the community. We have the Guiding Movement, BBS volunteers, Collar Healthcare Center volunteers, and Trailblazers. Let's not forget the Sand and Sea Committee, the Tourism Committee, Recreation Commission, Lions, Lioness, Burgeo Fire Department, Ground Search and Rescue, Church of History and Boards, Sunday School teachers, ACW, Altar Guilds, UCW, and the Lodges. If you do a little math, if all of these groups volunteer a minimum of 1 hour per week for 52 weeks, it comes out to some 1,194 hours per year. We all know that volunteering takes more than 1 hour per week. As you can see, without all these wonderful volunteers, lots of work in our community would not get done. Our BBS volunteers, for example, are a very important part of running the community channel. These 13 young people are energetic, enthusiastic, and willing to help wherever and whenever they can. If you are in a position to show your appreciation to a volunteer, please consider doing so. We need and should take this opportunity to show our volunteers just how valuable they are to our community. If you don't volunteer now, think about offering your time to some worthwhile group or organization. I guarantee you won't regret it. On behalf of all those who work with volunteers, I thank all our community volunteers for all your work, dedication, and commitment to our town and its people. As the 2004 theme says, volunteers grow community. The Department of Environment and Conservation announced a new enhanced coyote management plan. Coyotes were first reported in the province in 1985 near the Port-au-Port Peninsula. The animal has since increased its range to include all of insular Newfoundland. It is impossible to determine the exact number of coyotes in the province, but the population is increasing and it's permanently established on the island. On Wednesday of this week, Environment and Conservation Minister Tom Osborne announced amendments to the wildlife regulations that will significantly enhance the province's coyote management by introducing a new coyote harvest for the province. Government is committed to ensuring a sound coyote management plan, says Minister Osborne. Changing our wildlife regulations to introduce a new harvest strategy enhances our management options in addressing a number of concerns related to coyotes, such as predation on livestock and our wildlife population, particularly big game. A coyote hunting season will also allow for greater hunter participation, resulting in increased recreational and economic opportunities. Minister Osborne stressed the purpose of this new coyote strategy is not to eliminate coyotes from the province, but rather to help manage the population more effectively. Given the adaptability and reproduction capacity of the coyote, total elimination of the species is not a feasible option. The current coyote management strategies include a coyote trapping season that runs from October the 20th to February the 1st annually. Holders of small game and big game licenses are permitted to harvest coyotes during the period and in the area for which their licenses are valid. A permitting system is also in place to address specific problem coyote situations. This system is designed primarily for livestock farmers who experience coyote predation problems. The new coyote harvest strategy is as follows. The 2004-2005 coyote hunting season will begin May the 1st, 2004, and will be suspended on July the 10th, 2004, for a closed season from July the 11th to September the 10th. It will reopen on September the 11th, 2004, and close July the 9th, 2005. Thereafter, the annual coyote hunting season will begin on the second Saturday in September and end on the second Saturday in July. A new coyote hunting license will cost $10 plus GST and can be obtained through government service centers and wildlife licenses vendors. The 2004-2005 coyote hunting license will be valid from May the 1st, 2004 to July the 9th, 2005. Firearms permitting for coyote hunt include small caliber fire rifles not greater than .225 caliber and shotguns with size number 2 and larger. Examples of a small caliber center fire rifle include .22 Hornet, .222 Remington, .223 Remington, .22 250 Remington, and .204 Ruger. If you would like more information on the coyote management plan, contact Wayne Barney at 709-637-2014 or John Blake at 709-637-2354. On Friday of this week, the high school students at Burgeo Academy walked out of classes. We spoke to Ingrid Strickland, president with the student council. However, due to some problems with the audio on the tape, we weren't unable to hear her responses. Ingrid told us that after some discussion with the other student council members, they decided to organize the students' walkout to support the NAEP and CUPE workers. They called it the Support Walk. She went on to say that because of the strike, extracurricular activities at the school have been canceled. Ingrid also stated that the grade 12 grad is just 14 days away. They may have to have the graduation celebrations at the community center. This is a little disappointing since this would have been the very first grad to be held in the new school. Ingrid went on to say that the grade 12 students will soon be in the workforce themselves, and they wanted to show support for those on strike. Ingrid told us that they have the support of some of the parents. The teachers, however, couldn't comment on if they supported the students in their walkout or not. The students continued their walk around the loop and then returned to school. Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
Why do you volunteer?
It's a really good opportunity to get experience in the medical field and see what goes on inside of the hospitals.
When they tell me they miss me, I know that they appreciate what I do for them, and I like to be needed.
The seniors really, really enjoy the dogs. They pet them, they kiss them, they want the dogs to kiss them.
Make a difference in your community.
Volunteer.
The rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of a welcome home for Dean Billard as he returns home from the Persian Gulf. Let's look back to April the 14th, 1991.
It's the love of love. It's the heart of every man. It's the hope of hope. It's the love of love. This is the song of every man. And God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. Oh, God is watching us. God is watching. God is watching us from a distance.
BBS Playbill. Try our luck on Wednesday by playing Lions Club TV Bingo. On Thursday, we'll have a video entitled Gearing Up. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.